Hello. Today we're talking about this guy, and a little bit of this guy. So these are kalimbas. They're basically like thumb pianos. Um, they originate from an African instrument called mbira, and these are like a commercialized version, if you want to put it kind of harshly, um, designed for an international audience. The African ones are designed for African scales that sound right to those indigenous people's ears but don't sound right to us because we're used to different scales. Blah blah music theory. These ones have our scales, or are optimized for our scales. But all of that aside, the reason that I want to do videos about kalimbas, specifically this kalimba, is because I think kalimbas are a really great instrument for people who do not know their music theory. If you don't know anything about music, and you're just like, I would like to make some music, but I don't know how, you have surely said to yourself before, this is a perfect instrument for that, because you really don't need to, you really can't be taught it any more than I'm going to try to teach it, sort of, to myself. But you also really don't have to be taught it, because in essence, the point of a kalimba is that all of the notes are on key. You see how they have this little arc formation? Or if you look at this one, quite a broader arc formation. So this is designed around a scale. Everything is on key, basically. So when you play a piano, if you look at a piano, there's some white keys and some black keys. And when you play in a scale on a piano, you don't play every key. You play like a subset of the keys. So for example, if you want to play C major on a piano, you find a C, and then you play 7 white keys in order, and that happens to be C major, but for most scales you have to mix white and black keys. Blah blah blah, you don't need to know about that, that's the point. On a kalimba, there aren't any wrong keys, but you tune it so that all of the keys are in, let's say, C major or whatever. This one is tuned to the key of G and comes with this little card that tells you that it's tuned to the key of G, and if you put it under the notes, you can see which keys are which notes, because it came tuned like that, and because that's like an advantage of this instrument. So you can see how this would be great for someone who doesn't know their music. You don't have to know what note to hit. There aren't really any wrong notes. It basically lets you just play around and compose your own music. Compose is even kind of a scientific term for what you're going to do, which is literally just pluck notes that sound good to you. So that's what we're going to do. In the beginning of this, I'm going to take this kalimba, which is a smaller kalimba with only 7 notes, only enough for a normal scale, and I'm going to tune it, not even really to a scale. I'm just going to tune it to what sounds right to me. I don't have particularly good pitch. I don't really have experience doing this kind of thing, so it's not going to be like a scale specifically. It's just going to be something that sounds good to me. I'll try doing it on a piano. There's a piano in the house, but I really don't think I'm gonna be I'm just kidding, I have no idea how to tune an instrument. Okay, so I just wiggled the tines until they, literally what I did was wiggled each of the tines until it sounded like something I liked. I have no idea if these are on key. I don't have a good ear for that, or maybe I did at some point, but I certainly don't now. This is probably close to a scale. It certainly looks like one, doesn't it? A lot more than it did before, yeah? But I did not, I literally walked to my piano and then laughed at myself because I have no idea what I'm doing and I really can't hear whether it's correct, and then I just came back. And here it is. so the the bottom note is clearly flat. You see this guy. Play that again. It just sounds kind of wrong. I don't know if it's flat, but let me try to fix it. So I'll give you this view, and as I might have mentioned before, these aren't set in any way. Like, they're not attached here. You can move them around. So like, I'll wiggle this guy a little bit down, just slightly. No. So I'll try wiggling it up. That sounds a little better. Try going even a little more up. They are under high tension, so it can be hard to like wiggle them into place. Let's see, that's a bit too high. No, that's too close. Again, not because I know it's too close, just it sounds like that. That sounds kind of right. Okay, so I think that sounds better than before. And anyway, so that's how you tune it. And that's what I did when I set up this tuning. Literally, I just wiggled them and was like, that sounds bad, that sounds bad, that sounds bad, like until it sounded good. And tried to vaguely align them into this pattern. Of course, good on the manufacturer that they gave me 7 tines that are like about the right length. See how at the end they're like all kind of the same, even though they're, yeah? So they were like, oh, this person is gonna need a longer tine in the center to get their like bass note. I've seen people do setups where it's not like an arc, where there's like different variations of notes, or where the degrees of the scale are like scattered differently. And maybe we'll do that at some point, but it's, again, it seems a little overcomplicated now. We don't know what we're doing. We don't even know if this is a scale or not. So we certainly don't need any advanced configuration. This is perfectly fine. And you should be able to pretty easily do that with any Kalimba you buy. It should just be that way, and you can just wiggle them and make them have different sounds. These tines are kind of small, incidentally. Like, if you get the first Kalimba I had 7 tines too, but they were almost twice this size. They were a lot bigger. And you'll see some that have like bigger or different shaped tines, which can make it much easier. These are a little hard, but they do have a really good sound. Blah 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 music theory, like, that's it. So that's the end of this episode. We got it, we have a tuning, and it's super spooky. Yeah, like, I don't know, I like it. So for next time, we're gonna make up exercises to help us like learn our way around it. But that'll be in a week, and I'll see you in a week. Or if you watch the video on Wednesday or Friday, that will be not this. Just to be clear, that's not going to be this. This is on Mondays. But I'll see you then. So yeah, I've been Zandypants. Like and subscribe, please. It really helps me. I have like no followers. And I'll see you next time.